Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Kestra, and I'm back with another awesome video for you guys. And today's video is going to be my MEPS experience. So what is MEPS? MEPS is basically, it stands for Military Interest Processing Station. Basically, it's the place you go in order to determine if you're qualified or disqualified from joining the Army. So you go there, you would take either the ASVAB or you would take the your medical test. I took both at both of those locations, but on separate days. Like I think about 2 weeks ago, I took the ASVAB, and then 2 weeks later I came back and I came to do the medical portion. Some people will take it all in one day. Some people will take it separately. I took mine separately. I think the separateness makes it less intimidating because you have to study for a 3-hour test, then pass a full medical exam. It's just a lot on you, I feel like. So if you're going to MEPS soon, I would convince you to find a recruiter or talk to your recruiter about doing one part of the process each time. I would rather go twice and do it separately so that way I can focus on each part more clearer. So that was happening. So for me, I went on the 22nd of December through the 23rd of December. My recruiter came and got me around like 5-6 o'clock. He drove up to MEPS. MEPS is about 2 hours away from where I live, so I drove up there. So we drove up there, and then he stopped and we got food, and then I went to the hotel. Once we got to the hotel, we were able to put our bags in our rooms and chill. So I got there later than my roommate, and I ended up staying with my roommate. We had to share a room, and then once they also told us when we got there that you had to be back downstairs around 8:30 for a briefing. The briefing was really short and quick. It was just to get accountability of everyone who was there for MEPS, and it was to tell you what to expect tomorrow, like when you should wake up, when you should be down for breakfast, how to come down, what to bring, what information you must have with you, and things of that nature. So we go down for the briefing, and then I go right back upstairs and go to sleep because they're like, you have to get up at 4 o'clock. So I go right back upstairs to go to sleep, which made it kind of easy for me to basically to get up and go in the morning. So I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning, and we get ready. Then we go downstairs and we have breakfast. Breakfast was simple. It was like eggs, bacon, potatoes, just like regular any old breakfast, orange juice, fruit, and just things like that. I would suggest you eat something because you are not going to have another chance to eat until about 10-11 o'clock. But okay, yes, it's 4 in the morning and you're probably not hungry and it's early. But if you're up from 4 in the morning to about 10 or 11 o'clock, that's going to put a toll in your body. Especially you need to give blood, you need to give urine, you need to make sure you have a good meal in your system. So that's what happened before we got there, before we went to MEPS. Then we boarded a bus and we went over to MEPS, and it was pretty like quick. The bus ride was probably like 20-30 minutes, and we were there. And then we stood outside in this long line, and basically some guy came out and he briefed us on what to expect, on basically what the rules and regulations of the building were, and basically how to go in. Like we had we had to go in one person at a time. We had to put our bags to one part. We had to hold our jackets or coats out in front of us, and we walked through. Once we walked through the building, we grabbed our bags, and then we went to the front desk, which is right there. And that front desk is where we grabbed our name tags for. It was like literally right in front of where our respective branches were. And then we sat down in the front waiting room, and another guy came out and briefed us on the more rules and regulations on what to expect. And then he asked us our food preferences. Are we vegetarian? Are we not? So that way they could provide some type of meal for us, because they do provide lunch, because you are there all day giving blood, giving urine, and you're there all day. So they wanted a way for us to get some food. So then we go meet with our counselors / liaisons, whatever you want to call them. They are basically the people who represent like your respective branch. Like I told you in the last video, I'm joining the National Guard. I know you probably can't see that, but that's National Guard. So I'm joining the National Guard, the Pennsylvania National Guard. So I met with the respective branch liaison for the National Guard. And basically they talked about what to expect, what we need to pass in order to be fully enlisted that day. And he just gave us our last words of encouragement. Then we go off to another room where we do like a meeting room where everyone's in there, and we talk more in depth about the what to expect, and basically the rules and regulations of the building, like escape plans if anything happened in the building, how to get out, and where to meet up if anything happens. This is a government building, so they want to make sure our safety is at the forefront. So after that, we go do our medical exam. The first thing I did was the eye exam, which was different than the eye exam that I normally would do, because they had like these little machines you had to look into them. Normally you do the eye exam like this, where you cover one eye. It wasn't like that. So I did the eye exam, passed that portion, and then we went on to the hearing test. We would basically like put on these headphones, and you would click the button every time you hear a sound. Now, I'm going to tell you a little trick here. The trick is they are going to do one ear at least for me. For my test, they did one ear at a time. So they did the left ear first, and you just kept clicking, and then you would just and then it would just stop, and then it would automatically start over to the right ear, and you would just keep clicking. And also, you don't take your headphones off until the test is fully complete, until the person comes in and tells you to. Don't take your headphones off. You might think you're done. That doesn't mean take your headphones off. You keep them on the entire time until someone comes in there and tells you to take them off. That's a key point. So then after that portion, I'm just sitting and waiting to get my urine and my blood drawn. So first they kept drawing blood for guys, like next guy, next male. And then a lady comes in and is like, okay, they're taking too long to draw their blood. Just come on. And me and these couple of girls went in there so that way we could get our urine tested. And they tested it. It was the most awkwardest thing because the lady was looking dead at me. Because she was making comments. She was like, oh my God, you're going too slow. Oh my God, you're not peeing fast enough. Oh my God, you're getting it everywhere. But of course you're getting it everywhere because you're trying to aim in a cup. And it's really hard with someone watching you. But after that, they tested right in there to see if you have anything. I didn't have anything, so I went on to the next portion. The next portion was they did our blood pressure, and they tested our weight and height and weight. For me, I was overweight, like I've already explained, and I had to get taped. That was probably one of the most scariest portions. So I got taped, passed the tape measurement part, and then we waited. The lady lightened up a little bit. Sorry, I got interrupted. The video cut out, but I'm back now. So we go into the lady that was giving us the test. She lightened up a little bit and put on a movie, and we sat there until the doctor came. And when the doctor came, we each went in one by one in order to what did we each go one by one? We went in there one by one to speak to the doctor. They talked to us about, like, do we do drugs? Make basically that long list paper that you filled out with your recruiter and filled out again when you went to MEPS. They just were verifying to make sure that you were telling the truth. She did not coerce me. She did not like, oh, did you really smoke weed? Or did you really drink a little bit of alcohol? She didn't do that. Honestly, she was kind of old, and she didn't really seem like she was up there. I'm not even going to hold you. At least for my mom, she didn't even seem like she was there all the way. So she just was like, did you do it? I said no. She checked off no, and we kept it pushing. Then I go back outside, and I wait there. By this point, I'm already undressed in my bra and underwear. And I wait there when she talks to me, when they go back in there. The second time, then the other girls go in there. And then the second time we go back in there again. She feels our body. She checks our private area, our butt, and feels our boobs to see if we have any, like, lumps. After that, we're done with our doctor visit. Then the last and final part, which was the infamous exercises and duck walk. So basically we had to do the duck walk. I was having so much difficulty with this portion. I think it was because of the pressure that I was under. Because when I got home, I was able to do those exercises with no part, with no like hardness to it. It was like so easy. So after that, we had to do these exercises. Like we did like this, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we had to do like the duck walk. If you want to see an in-depth video on like the exercises that we had to do and the different movements that we had to do, I can do that later on. But yeah, so we had to do that. And then she told us to get dressed. And then we took our paperwork up to the front. And they didn't tell us anything. So they, honestly, on my MEPS, throughout each part of the process, they never really gave us an answer on if we passed or if we not. Like, I'm being honest. But I'm pretty sure if you didn't pass, they would have stopped it. They kept going, and we waited there for about 10-15 minutes, and then they was like, okay, you're released. You can go meet with your liaison. So I went back there. I met with my liaison, and I talked to him. And by the time my recruiter had showed up, and they were like, oh my God, you passed the hardest part. And I'm sitting here like, if this is the hardest part, then I got a long way to go, because basic gonna be harder than this. But so they said all that. So then there was a lot of people who joined the National Guard and the Marines that day. I don't know why. There was a couple Air Force, but there was like barely any Coast Guard and Navy, and there was mostly Marines and National Guard. Marines and Army National Guard. So after that, when we joined so their offices were pretty full, so I had to wait. So then they made it take like a little questionnaire test. It didn't count towards anything. It was just basically like it's just basically feedback for them, so they can know how to better assist the new recruits as they come in. So it's actually helpful to them to make this process a lot smoother and a lot simpler. So they helped me out in that regard. And so I took that little, it was like 66 questions. I finished that, took it into the room and gave it back to them, and then I had to wait some more until he was done. The guy was done with me for my turn to sign my contract. So I signed so he wrote the contract. Like the contract, I'm thinking contract is just sitting in the back ready to go. No, each person has different terms and conditions in their contract, so they're written and typed up differently. They're all electronic, so but they do give you a printed out copy, and you can always access a printed out copy. So so after that, I wait, and finally he drafts up the contract for me. I sign it in all the places I need to sign, and then I go to another guy who reviews that contract with me a third time. After he reviews that contract with me a second time, I go and I take FBI fingerprint in the body, a biometric scan, just to make sure I'm not wanted by the FBI. And now I am in the FBI database. So that way, if I was to commit a crime, they will be able to find me quickly. So that's the second part that happens. So after that portion of this, after that portion, I wait. And then they're like, okay, go get some lunch. So I go get some lunch, come back, and I wait some more. And then finally, he's like, okay, you're done. And then they're like, okay, you're going to review your contract one more time. And then at 3 p.m., you can swear in. Mind you, it was like 2 o'clock. So I still had to wait another hours because I had already missed. I think I had missed the 2 o'clock or 2:30 swear in. So I had to wait again to swear in. Yo, this was the longest part of the process. Was after I had already passed everything, and I'm like, and they're all congratulating me. I'm like, yo, I still have to wait to swear in. Finally, the time comes to swear in, and I have the clip of me swearing in, and I will insert it here right now.
I solemnly swear. You two and you two alone. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Jacob Thomas Whitmer,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Pennsylvania
and the state of Pennsylvania
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear
that I will bear
true faith
true faith,
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same.
that I will obey
I will obey
the orders
the orders
of the President of the United States
of the President of the United States
and the Governor of Pennsylvania,
and the Governor of Pennsylvania,
and the orders
and the orders
of the officers
of the officers
appointed over me.
appointed over.
So you just saw me swearing in, and basically I swore in. It was the most surreal moment in my entire life that I legit raised my right hand and said, I, Kestra Camara, will uphold the Constitution. It's just really a surreal moment, and I don't know how much joy I felt when I did that, because of the fact that this whole process has took me 8 months, 3 recruiters, and I had to lose 30 pounds. And it was just an amazing experience, and I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to serve in the United States Army, technically the Pennsylvania National Guard. So, what day am I leaving for MEP? What day I'm leaving for basic? I'm leaving for basic on February 3rd, which is less than a month away. And what am I doing to prepare? I'll be talking about what I'm doing to prepare in the next video. So stay tuned for that. Bye.